Hello, Tessa. Welcome to Mind Bloom.
Hello.
I'm
Nice
so
to see you.
excited. Yes, I'm so excited to have you. So you're Tessa Walter from the amazing The Walter Years, and we'll find out so much more about that. But first, I want to ask you, what makes your mind bloom, Tessa?
I was so excited to see this question when I was kind of researching Mind Bloom. I think it is such an important question to ask. I used to work with at-risk youth for about 15 years, and I wish this was one question that I would have asked them kind of directly. You know, what encourages you, what inspires you, what makes your mind bloom? And so when I really thought about that, it is really connecting with other people, with other like-minded people who are also dedicated to living their best life, recognizing that tomorrow isn't granted, and just connecting with those people who are also thinking the same kind of way. Those are the people who, lately, the person I'm obsessed with is Glennon Doyle. I don't know if you've heard of Glennon. I know that I had kind of mentioned her, but even people who recognize that, you know, tomorrow isn't granted, it doesn't mean that you're just this positive person all of the time. You're a real person with real struggles. And those are the people that I just love to connect with. And they really inspire me and make my mind bloom. I love that question.
And it's beautiful that you feel inspired by that and then you acted upon it.
Yeah. yes.
And here you are. So obviously, and by the way, just parenthesis, yes, I love Conan Doyle too. I mean,
good.
She is everything. I don't know if her latest book is out. I know it's in the works. I will be
Untamed?
one of
Untamed.
Is
yeah. Oh yeah. It is out.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely need to jump on that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll have her on.
Oh my gosh, I hope so. I was on that podcast too.
We'll be like, so God, what makes your mind blown? Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh, yeah, she's just church is the way that I describe
her voice, because I listened to her audiobooks, her book in an audio version, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it melts in my ear.
Yes. She's an artist, and the way that she speaks about, you know, I could go on and on about different people who are into self-help. You know, of course, I love Oprah. I love Brene Brown.
Yeah.
You know, there's others that we could talk about, like Rachel Hollis is one that a lot of people talk about. And I feel like that's very beginning, entry level kind of self-helpy, but Glennon is just real and raw. And that makes my mind bloom for sure.
Boom. I know. So shout out to
shout out to Glennon.
We love you. Anyway, tell us about the Walter years. I'm so curious. What is that all about?
Yeah, so it's so funny, and I don't know how like long-winded I'm able to be, but I will sit here and I'll tell you my whole life story, just as Glennon will, right?
Okay.
So as far as the Walter years goes, it's going to go back about 3.5 years. And so I moved to Gettysburg from South Carolina. I've kind of lived all over the place. And I moved to Gettysburg for a job, and I met a boy. That's how it always goes, right? I met a boy, and he was so serious. I had never had someone who was he was serious and intentional about dating me. And I had not been used to that kind of dating before. And so on our 4th date, he was like, okay, I need to have a conversation with you. What are your goals? And for me, I loved it. It felt like a business meeting, and I really I'm very type A. I kind of operate in that mindset. I was also 30 years old, so I wasn't looking for someone who, I wanted someone who was serious in that way. And so he said, you know, what are your goals? And I thought, oh my gosh, do I have to like create a PowerPoint presentation for this date? Like, what is this date going to be? And so I thought, you know, I'm just going to be honest about what my goals are. I knew what they were. I wasn't self-conscious about them, but to talk to someone who, I didn't want to intimidate him with my big, huge goals. And in any event, we sat down and I told him my goals. And the goal that I had is I did want to become a mom, and I did want to figure out a way where I could work from home and stay home with them. That was just really important to me. And I could go on and on about how, you know, in 2020, I think that is kind of looked down on sometimes as a woman and as a feminist. And so I was really worried about what his thoughts would be. And his response was to tell me his goals, and his goals are to be financially independent. And there's a lot of layers into that, but he is very money focused. And so what was really funny is it's like, okay, well, here I am. We both have our master's degrees. So both educated, both goal-oriented, both love to work. And I thought, how am I going to make his dreams come true by staying at home and possibly not having an income and still making my dreams come true too? And so fast forward, we decided to move in together, and he didn't have any debt. He had never known about debt. Debt was just not even, it was like a curse word in his house growing up. And me, that's kind of all I knew was debt. That's how I got through school. I lived on my own. You know, we just had very different upbringings. And so I knew that he needed to know that I was serious about paying off my debt. And, you know, in the morning we would listen to Dave Ramsey videos and Two Spy videos, and oh my goodness gracious, you know, this was like our morning routine. We don't do that anymore though. I'm married now. Now I don't have to put up with that. But in the beginning I had to drink the Kool-Aid. So as we were moving in, I literally did create a PowerPoint. I spent about 3 months consolidating all of my debt into an Excel spreadsheet, and really did a plan of how am I going to pay off this debt and give us the lifestyle that I know that he wants, that I've bought into. And I did that. I paid off my very first credit card, which was actually a credit card that I had used. I had a German Shepherd for about 12 years, and we had to put her down. And before that, she had a surgery that I was paying off every single month. And when that credit card was done, I realized I was reliving the trauma of my dog being sick every month that I was paying that card, every single month that I was paying that off. And now that it was gone, not that the trauma doesn't still live within inside me and I still miss her and all of those things, but it was one less painful occurrence every month to remind me of that. And that's when I realized this is so much more than debt. This is so much more than money. This is, as we're talking about with Mind Bloom and everything, this is a part of mental health where I don't have to relive this every single month. It's paid off, never to be thought of again. I was drowning, I was drowning in that. And so fast forward, I was paying off debt left and right. I was talking about it on social media. Friends started saying, what are you doing? What are you using? I was sending them my template. And then I had friends and family say, you need to charge for this. Like, this is good. You need to charge people for that. And that's a whole other, as you may have even experienced too as an entrepreneur, starting to charge for your worth is a whole other kind of mind game. And so I started really low, really low, too low. And over time, it just kind of grew. We became an official LLC in August of 2019. And then I was able to quit my full-time job as a social worker in March of 2020. And literally 4 days later, the pandemic happened. So that was interesting. That's been interesting. But that's the background of the Walter years. Is I kind of had my own journey with financial literacy and financial wellness. And then I've been the past year really dedicated to helping other people grasp those things too, and get out of debt and recognize how much different life can be when you're not swimming in it.
Absolutely. It's what Dave Ramsey says. I'm a big fan too. There's always a period in your life where you have to stop by Dave Ramsey's.
Right.
Where he says, you free up this amount of money monthly to do other things, to do the things you love and to do the things you like. Right. So that mindset helped me as well to get over a few, credit cards, because America,
exactly. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The whole idea of keeping up with the Joneses, Phil, my husband, and I, he has helped me recreate what the Joneses look like. And so for me, I recognize now that the Joneses, our cars are, 2006 piece of junk as far as I'm concerned. I was leasing my car. I was living the big life with kids and GPS. And then when we turned that in, now they're not pieces of junk. They're fine. They get us where we need to go, but we don't have a car payment. And that is what, $400 extra a month, or $800 if we had two payments that we don't have anymore. And so now those are the Joneses that I'm aspiring to be, is I don't owe anybody anything. And we're still working on that. We still have a mortgage, but for the most part, we wake up and our money is our money and we decide where that goes. And that feels mentally so good and relieving and stress-free.